Millions of bananas become banana bread every year. But here's the real question. Is it worth the hour it takes mixing all the ingredients together to get a banana loaf? Today, I'm putting homemade banana bread head to head up against the Publix banana walnut loaf to find out if all the time, effort, and dirty dishes are worth the final product.
Huh?
Or if the grocery store has already done all the work for us. By the end of this video, one loaf will win the bragging rights, and the other might get toasted. This is homemade versus store-bought, banana bread edition. Hi, my name's Curtis. On this channel, we compare homemade versions of popular desserts up against their professional counterparts. If you're new here, each contender is scored on a basis of 1 to 5 in 4 categories: appearance, taste, texture, and cost. At the end, we'll compare the scores in each category to see who comes out on top and crown a winner. But before we dig in, a brief history. Banana bread became popular in the United States in the 1930s, right in the middle of the Great Depression. Instead of throwing away overripe bananas, homemakers found a delicious way to use every bite. Once baking soda and baking powder became popular, banana bread quickly became one of America's favorite desserts, and it stayed that way ever since. Today you can find banana bread just about everywhere, from coffee shops, grocery stores, to family recipe books that have been handed down from generation to generation.
I was right.
Well done, Mr. Poole.
Will the homemade banana bread come out on top in this situation? Or will the Publix banana walnut loaf rise to the occasion? There's only one thing left to do, and that's head to the kitchen and find out. Wow, and just like that, we're in the kitchen. Today, we're going to be making banana bread. This recipe came up out of necessity, and that usually is the case for banana bread. Banana bread has risen to fame because people were trying to find a way to use bananas after they've overripened. Bananas do not look very appetizing when they start turning these colors, so people during the Great Depression smashed them up and put them inside of a bread. And that's what we're going to do today. So in front of me, as usual, is all the ingredients for the banana bread. And the only thing left to do now is mix it all up, get it in the oven, and get it out there, and we're going to compare it to the Publix version. The Publix version has a streusel on the top. I'm not real sure if I'm going to do that on this one, but it might affect the score on the appearance. So we'll see. Another quick note. In today's video, we're going to be using, for the first time, one of my wife's grandmother's recipes for banana bread. She grew up with it. She said it's fantastic. So giving it the best chance to beat a professional, I'm going to use this recipe. In future videos, I want to do a series called Mimi's Recipe Box because she was an incredible cook. I'd like to start getting in there, checking out these recipes and start making them, see how they turn out. So stay tuned in the future and be sure to subscribe so that you can see what happens when we start that series. All right, well that's enough talking. Let's jump in here, let's mix this stuff up, let's get it in the oven, and let's see how it turns out. Bananas were introduced in the United States in the late 1800s. Initially considered a luxury item, but became more widely available by the 1920s due to improved transportation and refrigeration, which allowed them to be shipped over long distances. The first banana bread recipes appeared in the 1930s, coinciding with the widespread availability of chemical leaveners like baking soda and baking powder, which enabled quick breads to rise without yeast. These early recipes were often simple, economical, and designed to prevent food waste, particularly overripe bananas, reflecting the resourcefulness required during the Great Depression. The Pillsbury Company published one of the first banana bread recipes in 1933, using baking soda as the leavening agent. During the 1940s, banana bread recipes adapted to wartime rationing, often using sour milk or buttermilk and minimal eggs or spices, resulting in a plain but fine textured loaf. All right, guys, we got this mixed up. That's pretty easy. It all just mixed in together. You do want to do, once you add the flour and the salt and baking soda, you do want to mix that by hand, because over mixing it can make it not turn out right. So now we're going to pour these up into 2 pans, get them in the oven. We're going to cook for 350 for 1 hour, and we will check them at that point. These are just like any other cake. You put a toothpick in the center, and if it comes out clean, then it's done. So let's get it in the oven. Low fat, low sugar banana loaves designed to feed families, though these versions were often bland. By the 1960s and 70s, banana bread recipes embraced richer flavor and natural ingredients, influenced by the Back to the Land movement and the rise of health-conscious baking. All right, guys, here we are at the end. This made 2 loaves, but I'm seeing that these loaves are kind of small. I think if I do it again, I'll just make 1 big loaf where both of these are together, and then you get this huge loaf. But these turned out really well. They're soft, they seem moist, but we're not going to know for a fact until we get in there and test them. So let's get these cut up. Let's get the Publix brand so we can compare it, and we'll get in there and test it. But first, check out this reveal. The verdict. Here we are back again, trying out these 2 banana breads. On the left is the store-bought, and on the right is my homemade banana bread. So as we've stated before, we are going to grade these on a scale from 1 to 5 in 4 categories: appearance, taste, texture, and cost. Without further ado, let's just jump right into it. And we'll start here on the left with the store-bought. Appearance. If you look at this, it looks a little denser. It does have the crumble on the top, the streusel, and you can see it's got a few nuts in it. There is no discernible banana pieces in it, so I'm not sure about that. We'll have to determine that once we taste it. On the right is mine, and I can see bananas already. I can see banana pieces. I don't see any. There's one, there's a nut. There's 1 walnut right there. So this one might have more walnuts in it. I didn't put a streusel on top, but I like the way that it looks. And also, the recipe I was following was my wife's grandmother's recipe, and it didn't call for a topping or a streusel. So we're staying true to the recipes here. So on appearance, I'm going to give this one, the store-bought one, it looks pretty decent. I'm going to give it a 3. On mine was a lot shorter, but I think that the loaf pans that I was using were too wide. They needed to be skinnier, so it made them taller. Live and learn on that one. The recipe did make 2 loaves, but they were both small, so maybe I could have made it into 1. With all that being said, I'm going to give this a 2. I'm going to give the homemade a 2. Okay, the next one is texture. On the left, the store-bought, we'll dig in it a little bit. Boy, that sure does seem dry. It's just, you know, coming up like sand does. The texture of the outside is solid, and crummy. And let's see the top streusel. Well, that's streusel for you. All right. On mine, okay, see when you dig on the inside of the cake, or the bread rather, when you dig on the inside of the bread, it shouldn't come loose like sand. And this one does not. It's bouncy. It's got, you know, some pushback on it. The outside edge is not, it's brown, but it's not very thick. This one has a really thick, dark brown outside. This one is much lighter on the outside. And the colors on the top of it are really nice. So for texture, I'm going to give this a 2. The store-bought, I'm going to give it a 2. And for mine, it's a really great texture. I'm going to give it a 4. All right, moving on to taste, which is everybody's favorite. We'll start here. I'm just going to get a piece from the inside. Wow. That thing is dry as the day is long. It just sucks all the moisture out of your mouth. And the flavor is not very fresh. It tastes very artificial. Let me get one of these nuts and see. I almost don't want another bite of this thing. That's really bad. I'm surprised, Publix. It didn't change anything. It's just a nut. Not looking too good for you. All right, let's try mine. You actually have to cut out a piece. Oh man, right off the bat, that is nice and moist, spongy, packed full of natural banana flavor, not that artificial crap. There are nuts in it. I got nuts that time in the bite. That's really good. All right, on taste. Store-bought, they lucky I'm giving it a 1. That's terrible, Publix. Do better. Mine, that's delicious. It may be a small loaf, but man, that thing is packed full of flavor and it's moist. It's probably the moistest cake it's probably the most moist dessert I've made thus far. It is delicious. It's right up there with the carrot cake. So I'm going to give it a 4. All right, now let's break it down to cost, okay? The store-bought one was $7 for this loaf. I say you get about 10 pieces, about that size out of it. And the homemade, I used some bananas that were going bad. I mean, I still spent money on them, but they were like 90 cents a piece. Oh, that's about $4 in bananas. Flour is negligible, sugar, all that stuff. I'd say that I spent probably $3 or $4 on this one, and it is way better. I got 2 loaves out of it too. So for cost on the Publix one, it's terrible, and it was expensive. So it gets another 1. Mine was cheap, and it's delicious. I'm gonna give it a 4. All right, guys. As you all know, we can count scores all day, but it doesn't matter until the judge tries it and lets us know what she thinks. Let's get her opinion on these 2. I'm gonna start her off just like I did me with the store-bought. What do you think of that?
Yuck! That thing is dry and flavorless. I'd rather lick concrete.
Dry and flavorless, just like I said. Dry and flavorless. All right, let's get you one of mine. Did you even taste it? What do you think?
Oh my, that's delightful. Can you talk to the vet and have this added to my daily diet?
I must be improving, because she wasn't mean to me that time. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for today. When we tally up the score, homemade wins by a landslide. Publix, very disappointing. So the homemade wins of the crown. That's all we have for this episode. Thanks for coming by. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what score you would have given these in the categories that would make sense for you. And let's see if we can compare them. Well, we'll be back next week. We're going to do crumble cookie, the sugar cookie. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. And click that little bell icon so you're notified each time we release a new video. That's all we have for now. Appreciate you coming by, and we'll see you on the next video. Tell them bye, Piper.
Bye now. We'll see you on the next video.